Jan Way Esquire of Yunnan Construction Engineering Group Limited. Linwood Foppy Esquire, Andrew Carter Esquire, TK International, Oswald Sabre Esquire. Whereas we have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica, now therefore, I, Charles Andrew Sabre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my word, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Meritorious Service Award, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my word that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica. Given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this 3rd day of November 2022. Engineering Group Limited, Kai Darway Esquire, Leo Lucci Esquire, Warren Way Esquire. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to Commonwealth of Dominica by giving faithful and community services to the development and construction of key public infrastructure in Dominica. And whereas from 2017, Yunnan Construction Engineering Group Limited, through the efforts of Mr. Kai Dawei, Mr. Luke Lichi, and Mr. Wake, have given exceptional service to the people of Dominica through the construction of a new, modern, fully equipped Dominica China Tertiary Hospital. And notwithstanding the passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017, and the COVID-19 pandemic, have been able to deliver the facility on time. And whereas Mr. Kai, as chairman of Yunnan Construction Engineering Group Limited, you have provided financial and logistical support for more than 6 years to ensure that the project is successfully completed to high quality and resilient standards. And whereas Mr. Leo, the head supervisor of the Dominica China Tertiary Project, you have efficiently coordinated and managed the construction of the project and the efficient procurement of material and personnel allocation, especially during the reconstruction period after Hurricane Maria and the advent of COVID-19. And whereas, Mr. Chair, you comprehensively manage the construction and support activities through the project life cycle, ensuring adherence to structural design and specifications, and liaising with the project management unit and hospital staff to maintain the quality, safety, and progress of the project. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Sabre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my word, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Meritorious Service Award, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. Andrew Andy Carter, Esquire. Whereas you have provided long and meritorious service to the development of Dominica in the area of sports commentary and sports development, and whereas through your enthusiasm, selflessness, and deep passion for sports, you have helped develop interest in the various disciplines and assisted the advancement of the sector in Dominica. Paul Savret, Esquire. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service in Commonwealth of Dominica through your outstanding contribution to the development and administration of sports for 19 years as sports coordinator and the public officer for 40 years, and whereas you are rightly regarded as a pioneer in sports development in Dominica from your many years spent as a specialist physical education teacher and sports master at the Dominica Grammar School, coaching the school's sporting teams to a number of championship wins, and nurturing many of the outstanding sportsmen and women of our era. And whereas you were one of the earliest qualified physical education teachers in Dominica, having earned a certificate in education in the field of physical education in the United Kingdom in 1974, and was appointed at the Dominica Grammar School as specialist teacher of physical education and sports master in 1974, deputy principal in 1989, and acting principal for a short period in 1980. And whereas you obtained a postgraduate diploma in physical education and in 1989 a master of education degree at the University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom, and several coaching and sports administration qualifications. And whereas you are delivering efforts and bringing excellence as sports coordinator, molding young sportsmen and women to championships in various sporting disciplines, locally, regionally, and internationally. Produce a first draft sports policy which is considered as a reference document of today. Conceive the School Sports Awards and the National Sports Awards to honor exceptional sporting talent. And whereas you are founding member of the Dominican Amateur Athletics Association, and through your efforts, Dominica was accepted as a member of the international Olympic community, and you chair the Paralympic Games Committee and served as president of the Dominica Table Tennis and Dominica Volleyball Association. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savage, president of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, confer on you the dignity and honor of the Meritorious Service Award, which I report to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service in the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do so by this my warrant, that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of its services to the Commonwealth of Dominica. Given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this 30th of November, 2020. And now invite you to have another round of applause to all of our Meritorious Service Awards. I now invite Mrs. Dion Jura-Smith to present the Service Medal of Honor Association.
Service Medal of Honor for Meritorious Service to the Commonwealth of Dominica and His Excellency Charles Angelo Savage, TAH, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica. 2. Abilities Unlimited, Mrs. Sotera Reginald Walsh. 8. For the Laugh Esquire, Mary Wallace Esquire, Joseph A. Russell Esquire, Hilda Remy Esquire, Mrs. Corina M. Alaville, name Roman, Ian Jackson Esquire, Mrs. Vanya Elwa, and Julia Luzan I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica. Given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. So abilities unlimited. Whereas abilities unlimited has contributed to the development of Dominica by working with persons who are differently able since 1964, and whereas through specialized training programs we inspire the differently able in Dominica to be productive, self-reliant, and competent, and to live fulfilling lives, and to engender a culture of tolerance, inclusion, respect, and love for the differently able. And whereas you have advanced the art of craft making, producing an array of dazzling craft products such as picnic baskets, shopping bags, handheld fans, clutch purses, baby crates, and waste paper baskets. And whereas we continue to promote the use of indigenous materials such as benzene, dried coconut leaves, and screw pie in the creation of quality products such as floor mats, placemats, and the signature Creole lady in the Lafayette, ensuring the preservation of this important aspect of our tradition. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Sadler, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, I this my warrant to grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further by this my warrant that to be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Mrs. Sotera Reginald Walsh. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in the fields of arts and culture, sports, and community enhancement, and whereas for almost 20 years you have served as a councillor, represented Ward 4, and was presented with the Mayor's Award in 2009 for Most Outstanding Councillor, and whereas you have dedicated yourself to the development of the sport of netball, both as a player and as an administrator and now as president of the Dominica Netball Association, and you successfully managed the organization of Eastern Caribbean States and Eastern Caribbean Central Bank 2nd edition International Netball Series in Dominica. And whereas you have served as manager of the women's senior football team, the senior men's football team, and as a coordinator of women's cricket, working closely with the Dominica Cricket Association. And whereas in your contribution to culture, you have coached and chaperoned many contestants for national and regional pageants since 1981, winning 9 National Queen, 3 Miss Lafayette, and 2 Madam Lafayette titles. And whereas your dedication to the arts and culture earns you the Golden Drum Award in 2016 for the promotion of pageantry. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Sadler, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, I this my warrant to grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order, I this my warrant, that to be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Hayford Lafont, Esquire. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in the fields of sport and community development. And whereas you have been instrumental in the development of the Bath Estate community, and from 1983 you selflessly served as the Public Relations Officer of the Bath Estate Development Committee for 5 consecutive terms. And whereas in the late 1990s, you wholeheartedly gave outstanding service by developing the Bath Estate playing field, where for 12 years you led the Bath Estate Football League, enhanced the community center, and maintained the ravines, drains, and bridge to uplift the environment, and led the organization of the first ever Fête la Coudoué in Bath Estate. And whereas as a sportsman and sports enthusiast, you were a football referee for many years, represented Dominica in Windward Islands cricket in 1969, formed part of the national football team in the 1970s, coached many youths of Bath Estate in table tennis, and represented Dominica as a table tennis coach at the Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow, Scotland. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further, by this my warrant, that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November, 2022. Mr. Merrill Wallace, Esquire. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica by your steadfast and outstanding contribution in the telecommunications sector and in community development. And whereas for 31 years you served as a leader of quality telecommunications services at Cable and Wireless, playing a critical role in the installation of fiber optic cable in Dominica and the establishment and development of the Cable and Wireless Portsmouth branch, which you managed. And whereas you have provided guidance and leadership to many young professionals to advance their careers in telecommunications, and as an entrepreneur in the town of Portsmouth, where you have provided employment for many. And whereas, as a religious leader, you continue to serve your community through spiritual leadership, counseling, and the provision of financial aid to deprived families. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November, 2022. Joseph Russell, Esquire. Whereas you have provided dedicated service as an educator and community leader in the Woodford Hill community, and whereas you served from 1970 as a teacher and was appointed principal in 1985, working at Sineku, Bells, Woodford Hill, Wesley, and Marigot. And whereas you have been an active community leader, sportsman, and sports administrator, and have worked as an adult education facilitator, youth group leader, executive officer of the Woodford Hill Farmers Group, and coordinator of the Woodford Hill Reunion Committee. And whereas you were a cultural leader for over 20 years, helping to preserve and promote Dominica's culture, specializing in traditional dance. And whereas after retirement, you were elected to serve on the village council, and you are currently in your 3rd term as chairman and have been appointed as a justice of the peace. Now therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Service Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order, by this my warrant, that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica, this 3rd day of November, 2022. To Theodore Remy, Esquire. Whereas you have given faithful and selfless service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in the area of community development as a counselor from the year 1987. And whereas you served as counselor of the Tebow Village Council for over 35 years, 5 of which you spent as chairperson, and was instrumental in initiating and completing several development projects in Tebow. And whereas through committed efforts, you were able to revamp the Tebow Village Feast to provide your community with a means to generate income. And whereas you served the people of the North as a bus driver and was a contracted driver for the Ross University School of Medicine for 23 years, and you were praised for your dedication, reliability, and trustworthiness. Now therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Service Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order, by this my warrant, that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November, 2022. To Mrs. Corina Laville. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica by giving dedicated and outstanding service in the field of education for 41 years, 30 of which was at the Massac Canefield Primary School. And whereas throughout your teaching career, you displayed a high level of commitment and dedication in molding the hearts and minds of students entrusted to your care, and applied sound management and leadership principles as principal, inspiring the teachers in your supervision to pursue higher qualifications. And whereas under your stewardship as principal, the Massac, Canefield, and Warner primary schools made significant strides at the Grade 6 national assessments, and you engendered a passion for reading and writing among your students, ensuring your schools' libraries were refurbished and brought up to standard.
And whereas you have been an active member of your community and taught the literacy program for many years in Massac, provided free instruction in the English language to members of the Haitian community, and was a devout churchgoer who served as a catechist for 50 years, a choir member, and communion minister. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Government of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Ian Jackson, Esquire. Whereas you have served with dedication and selflessness in education and culture, and whereas, driven by your passion for poetry and creative writing, you have taught and inspired hundreds in English and English literature as a teacher at the St. Mary's Academy, and conducted workshops for over 40 years in creative writing, especially in your capacity as founder and president of the Dominica Writers Guild, developing a cadre of creative writers in Dominica in the process. And whereas for over 4 decades you have further added vitality and richness to our culture with your 3 booklets of poetry, and as a dramatist, musician, calypsonian, and songwriter for participants in the Junior Monarch and National Calypso competitions and other song contests. And whereas through your unmatched talent in creative writing, you have won the National Poetry Competition a 7 times record, won the DBS Christmas Song Contest 5 successive times, and have earned the top awards such as the World Golden Poet of 1990, the Lifetime Achievement Award for Literary Arts in 1999, and the Golden Drum Award of 2013. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Mrs. Vania Nazarene Elwa. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica as an educator for many years in the Eastern District, and whereas you served as a teacher from 1978, a specialist teacher in home economics, was principal at the Jones Beaupierre, Dalis, and Montjean primary schools, and from 2013 to 2019, you were learning support advisor in the Ministry of Education for the Eastern District. And whereas you have a distinguished record of community involvement, offering classes in food and nutrition, adult education classes, and have served as a member of the Coolery Cultural Group, the La Plaine Carnival Organizing Committee, the Board of Directors and Credit Committee of the former Southeast Credit Union, the Southeast Sports Committee, and as a lay minister in pastoral care in the Catholic Church for the past 15 years. And whereas you now serve as a member of the La Plaine Village Council, as the Public Relations Officer of the Communication and Information Dissemination Committee of the La Plaine Disaster Management Committee, as a member of the Consumer Relations Committee of the Independent Regulatory Commission, IRC, serving the parish of St. Patrick, and as a Justice of the Peace. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November, 2022. Julian Uzeb, Esquire. Whereas you have rendered faithful service to the Commonwealth of Dominica through your committed efforts to develop the agriculture sector, and whereas you first began your career as a plant propagator attached to the La Plaine Agricultural Center in 1975, and was promoted to supervisor of operations at the La Plaine Agricultural Center, a position you functioned in from 1977 to 2012. And whereas during your tenure at the station, you experimented with the propagation of many different plants, especially citrus, to provide Dominican farmers with quality plants for their holdings. And under your supervision, the center improved and expanded operations to include the rearing of livestock. And whereas, as a farmer, you contributed to the agriculture economy of our country by producing numerous crops for local consumption and export, such as bananas, plantains, yams, dashing, tanya, sweet potatoes, oranges, grapefruits, and avocados, and regularly supplied Dexia and local hucksters with top quality produce. And whereas upon your retirement, you continue to work full-time as a farmer, and you are now the largest plantain farmer in the Southeast, also growing a wide variety of other crops for the domestic and export market. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid, by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Services Medal of Honor, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November, 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, a final round of applause for the awardees who have received the Services Medal of Honor for 2022.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dion Dura-Smith.
Long Service Award for Meritorious Service to the Commonwealth of Dominica by His Excellency Charles Angelo Savre, DAH, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, to Mrs. Ursula Peter, Mrs. Helen Jean Gilbert, and Mrs. Maria Moise. Whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica, now therefore I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Long Service Medal, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Mrs. Ursula Peter, whereas you have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in the field of early childhood education for over 45 years, and whereas you have contributed selflessly toward the development of early childhood education in the communities of Dublin and Bioche, and your role as a principal you performed with dedication and distinction, and your genuine concern for the early development of children continues to be a source of inspiration to others. And whereas you have served your religious community as catechist for over 20 years and continue to voluntarily serve your community in many aspects, such as President of the St. Vincent de Paul. And whereas you remain an early childhood educator, continuing to impart your skills and teachings for the betterment of the members of your community. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Long Service Medal, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Mrs. Helen Jean Gilbert, whereas you, Mrs. Helen Jean Gilbert, affectionately known as Nurse Gilbert, have rendered long and dedicated service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in nursing and community development, and whereas commencing since your graduation in 1988 as the first Cuban graduate from your community in nursing, you continue to provide efficient and selfless service to persons in the Portsmouth Health District, particularly at the Reginald Fitzroy Armour RFA Hospital, and in the communities of Penville, Vilcaz, and Anzime. And whereas for the past 45 years, you have been a stalwart community leader with unmatched ability to motivate the youth, serving your community diligently and tirelessly in countless leadership roles, such as facilitator of the first adult education program in Penville, youth leader of various community youth groups, member of the Red Cross group in Penville, and serving as a leader on various committees in the Catholic Church in the parish of St. Andrew. And whereas you have so actively contributed to the economic development of your community as a leading producer of locally made wines, punches, plantain chips, and floral wreaths, all made with materials sourced from local vendors. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Long Service Medal, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Mrs. Maria Moise. Whereas you have given 38 years of selfless and dedicated service to the Commonwealth of Dominica in the field of health, and whereas you diligently and professionally execute your responsibility as midwife by providing prenatal and postnatal care, counseling and support to women and their families in the Grand Bay Health and Roseau Health districts, and whereas you have also been recognized for your outstanding contribution in the expanded program on immunization and was awarded Nurse of the Year in 2012, and whereas your dedication and passion for health, you completed specialized training in courses such as STD management, HIV/AIDS testing, and became a certified HIV counselor and HIV/AIDS tester. And whereas, following the passage of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, you were instrumental in providing first-hand care for the people of Petite-Savanne and was instrumental in the organization and resettlement of the Petite-Savanne community. Now, therefore, I, Charles Angelo Savre, President of the Commonwealth of Dominica, as aforesaid by this my warrant, do grant and confer on you the dignity and honor of the Long Service Medal, which I am empowered to bestow on those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. And I do further order by this my warrant that you be awarded the Medal of Honor in recognition of your services to the Commonwealth of Dominica, given under my hand and the public seal of the Commonwealth of Dominica this 3rd day of November 2022. Let's give another round of applause to all of our Long Service Medal awardees. And a final round of applause to all of our awardees this evening. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for honoring those persons who have rendered meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Dominica. We will now present a bouquet to Mrs. Savrin, wife of the President. Thank you very much, Mrs. Savrin. We will also present a bouquet to Mrs. Melissa Skerritt, Honorable Melissa Skerritt, wife of the Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you very much. And now for the part of the event that I know you are eagerly anticipating. I now invite Sergeant Joseph Raymond, who is also the Commandant of the Dominica Cadet Corps, to provide insight into the parade of uniformed officers.
Happy Independence, Dominica. 2022 National Parade Drill Display. Centered around the theme for this year's Independence celebration, One Dominica, One People, One Vision. The drill display was planned and put together by Corporal Alvin Cachet and Corporal Sherwin Mitchell of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. Musical accompaniment done by a contingent of the Dominica Cadet Corps Band and Drum Corps. The display team comprises of 40 men and women of the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force. They march onto the parade grounds in single file, carrying their weapons at the trail, then form up into 4 ranks. They will be dressed They are incorporating a taste of our local cultural dance, the heel and toe. Once given the command, the team will split into 2 halves horizontally, forward and backward, and diagonally, but on every occasion, the team comes back together. This display depicts that over the years, we as a nation were divided on several occasions, but every time we were always able to get back together as one nation, proving our high level of determination and resilience. Now the team goes into a spiral formation. This signifies the several hurricanes and storms that we have been through over the years, and most recently, Hurricane Maria, and also the COVID-19 pandemic. But even these could not stop us from coming back together as a people. Hence, the team forms back into one. The team now forms an arrow and travel at several paces before forming back into fours. This will depict the country soaring through all of our trials and challenges with togetherness and courage. We are now forming the letters D and A, which speaks for itself. The team has now formed the figures 4-4, 44, marking 44 years of independence as a nation, of which we are all proud. The team goes back to its original formation, marking the end of the display before marching off. Thank you. As the team marches off, the cadet contingent will put on a short musical dance display, and dance on their own. between the files, you can see a cultural dance being performed. Gilanto. Dominica Cadet Corps Band and Drum Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, this sort of display would traditionally be done at a military tattoo, and the Cadet Corps, being a paramilitary organization, is just giving us a sample of what you would expect at a military tattoo. Following this, we'll have the marching on of the troops in preparation for the military parade. The parade is now taking up its position on the Bronx, being led by Acting Superintendent of Police Belgrove Charles, and his second in command is Assistant Superintendent of Police Claude Wicks. Parade commander has given the command for inwards dress, where they will be dressed by Police Corporal Mitchell. This is to ensure that they're in line in preparation for the march past. Parade commander now takes up post at the head of number 1 platoon. Police platoon number 1 is led by Inspector of Police Frank Commodore. The right guard marker is Sergeant Delvin John Rhys. Passing the passing line, parade commander is 2IC, and number 1 platoon commander will pay compliments to His Excellency Charles Angelo Severin. Platoon number 2 of the police is commanded by Inspector Jerome Barnes. The right marker is Sergeant Lyndon Timothy. Police platoon number 3 is led by Inspector John Nelson Charles. The right marker, Sergeant Highfield Philip. The flag party is approaching. The flag bearer is Second Lieutenant Ed Phil Benjamin of the Dominica Cadet Corps. Number 4 Platoon of the Dominica Prison Services, led by Acting Principal Officer Teresa Pond Mason. The 5th Platoon, the Dominica Fire and Ambulance Services, led by Acting Station Officer Matthew Prosper. The right marker, leading fireman Chris Cadet. Number 6 Platoon of the Dominica Cadet Corps, led by Major Lincoln Robinson. Right guard marker, Staff Sergeant Stevens R. The left marker, Staff Sergeant Reynolds. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a march pass in slow time. The parade commander have now broken the parade into quick time, and they will once again pass the passing line and pay compliments to His Excellency the President, Charles Angelo Sovereign. the Dominica Music Lovers Government Band, led by bandmaster Peter Leta. Dominica Cadet Corps Band and Drum Corps, led by Drum Major, Warrant Officer Dion Iles. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the march passes in slow and quick time. The parade commander has now given the command for inwards dress, which will prepare the parade for the review order. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you to stand as we have the rendition of the national anthem of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to stand for the departure of His Excellency President and Mrs. Sovereign, followed by Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit and Mrs. Skerrit. I also invite you to join us at the stadium forecourt for the cultural gala, which begins right after this ceremony.
something that